Alright, so we made some progress here. I just put on the wheel. This is another day, by the way. That was pretty simple, just kind of slid right on. You got to make sure you torque that nut down pretty good and then get a good bite on that axle. And then put the cotter pin system on there. You're going to have to tap that cover in with a socket. Then the shock, yeah, I used all their hardware. I don't know why it came with a nut, but it's threaded right in here. And then on the bottom, I had to put in an oversized bolt to make the spacing right, because it didn't come with that. But that's also threaded on that body frame. All right, and just, again, a reminder that I put tape here and here, electrical tape, just to keep the brackets from falling off. So now I'm in the process of putting the alignment of the frame to the what's called the clevis struts. These struts here that are adjustable. So if you turn it, then it comes further out. If I needed to reach that mark, and you can turn it. It turns. You do kind of an L-shaped turn. Anyway, and then these, you keep them loose. What I did is for the lower bracket, that just slides in like this, and then you have the squeeze bolts down there when you're done. You have different rotational positionings here to clear the pipe and frame, and that is this amount here, which I chose to use the upper mount just to kind of give it an alignment. Okay, the shorter one I put down here. In the other video, I had to drop the right pipe, but there is a sweet spot. You can try to get it in from the front underneath in the belly. Doesn't interfere with the brake pedal at all. And that's going to that location way down there. So I may have to move this forward. And here's the last one. This one here, and this one going to this point, so you can rotate it. You can rotate them, make an L, and then rotate it out. So this is their alignment description. They want the frame, outer part of the frame, 12 inches from the frame of the motorcycle, but the problem being is where are you taking that measurement? So I got a wide out point down there on the frame. This tapers in. This is obviously the swing arm, so this is further in. So I decided to just take the furthest point to this point here. So it's exactly 12 inches. So I went there to 12 inches, and I'm pretty much right there on the frame down there at 12 inches, and that's level. And then I'm just gonna try to make a parallel to that 90-degree point, and then check as best I can. Here it's gonna do right against the swing arm, so that's not bad. And then if you come to the front, that's really hard to do that because everything, the frame tapers in. But if I take the 1 foot measurement there, then that brings me right around there, which is still past the motor point. So, and, again, you can adjust it. There's just kind of a complexity to be turning that on both the links and turning it. So that's the 12-inch away frame to frame. The other measurement is they want, obviously, the frame to be level, and you just look at when you get the tire on, you're looking at just 90 degree to the gravity line. So, and I already see I'm slightly tilted that way. What I'm going to do is, I already put that front wheel on, so I'm going to remove this scissor jack down here, and I'm going to put it under this long board. And since it's connecting, sitting in two spots, two spots, I'm going to put it right there and just do the adjustment to raise this up. So I don't know if you can see it, but it is slightly that way. So I want to get this level, and you'll see my level bubble right there. So I definitely want to come up to get that level bubble in the middle. And obviously I'm looking at this level too. So I'm using that bubble leveler to do, you can do some shims down there, get it kind of close, and then bring the rods to length position enough to get onto the mounts, which I suspect I'm gonna have to probably replace this threaded arm with this threaded arm because it's longer, and I don't think that one needs all of it. It says that you only need to be 2 inches of thread inside the strut. So let's see, last session was about 5 hours straight through, and you're unwrapping it, that takes like half an hour unwrapping that stuff. But and then reading the directions, and I probably tore up a good half hour here and there. The actual work is just trying to figure out how to prop things up. The actual mechanical work is not that bad, because I got my gun, my tool gun and everything. So it's basic mechanical knowledge. You are dealing with this system here. Again, that little wafer that's in there, I don't know if you can see it. That wafer in there, right there, that's in the correct position because this is actually a bolt that threads all the way through this block, and at the end it's pointed, and if you look at that shim, there's a dimple for it to set right into. That way it's pressing against the frame. Okay, so I'm at what I did is I did the wheel, the leveling, put it on the front wheel. I'm about an hour to hour and a half. I figure I got another 3 hours to kind of get it to a road test. Obviously I'm gonna have to attach the fender, which is still wrapped, and the sidecar unit, which is just you got 4 bolts in that compartment there. You got 4 bolts. You got 4 bolts in here. 2 of them are holding the seat. There's 4 bolts, and then you got another 4 bolts. So it's like 12 bolts total. Anyway, if you can see the bike, how it's leaning on the kickstand, so I'm gonna be putting that block under there to try to straighten it up. After I do that, what I'm gonna do after I get that block underneath the kickstand to angle it up, I'm gonna put a zip tie around this to compress the front brake so it won't be rolling forward on me, and maybe put a little shim block in the front and back of the rear tire just as a precaution. I'll put a shim block there and a shim block in the front, and that should be stabilization. So I'm crawling slow just because there's a lot of aligning, and I'll talk about the toe in and lean out adjustment after I get this thing close and mounted, so I can remove all the buckets and boards. So I'm hopefully, again, this is not an instruction video. This is not for novices. I'm just doing this and sharing it. It's because it's unique. But if you are dealing with this, they do have a phone number you can call for customer service assistance. I hope this helps bridge the gap of any mystery on the sidecar that's manufactured in India.